Hey YouTube, Will Walker here. This is the William Walker Company Project channel, and I just wanted to do a quick video. I know it's been some time since I've put out a woodworking or shop related video, but it's because I've been traveling a lot with my family. We've really been enjoying the spring and summer, and I've been in total shop overhaul reorganization mode. I'm putting up a bunch of cabinets. I got some new countertops. Getting ready to start working back on the Roubeau bench because I've got a new place for that now. But in the meantime, Evolution Power Tool Company sent me out this Rage 3 sliding compound miter saw that's supposed to cut pretty much anything. Wood, aluminum, steel, plastic, with their proprietary blade that comes in the saw. And I thought I would do a comprehensive review of it and what I think, pros and cons, so let's just jump right into it. Whenever I get a new tool in the shop, I like to dial in all the adjustments to make sure everything is referencing true and square. I never assume any tool is ready to go out of the box. I always run through. So it was really nice to see the adjustment screws for the 90 and 45 degree stops when angling the head of the saw. There's also a depth stop for making non-through cuts like dados and rabbits, which I thought was nice. As far as build quality, it feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel like it has any give anywhere. It doesn't feel chintzy at all. It slides fairly nicely. And there's a cord keeper back here to keep the cord out of the way so you don't accidentally cut your cord, which I have done on various other types of saws, just when you're, in the really trying to get something done for the day and you just cut right through your cord and then you have to fix that, and that's a big, huge pain in the butt. Some other things that I noticed on it were there is a laser that is pretty much garbage. I don't ever use a laser on tools for that same exact reason. They're supposed to be precision tools. Every laser I've used has been leaving something to be desired. So that being said, there are adjustments on the laser, but I've fooled with them back and forth for the longest time, and it still doesn't line up, and I'll show you why. Okay, with the line squared on a normal piece of 3/4 inch red oak, something you'll find every day in my shop, you can see how the laser line moves on two axes, to the left of my line as well as out of square as I lift the head of the saw, making the laser absolutely useless to me. I've always found it just as easy to line up the tooth of the blade to my cut line anyhow, so not a big deal, but useless feature. Next, let's talk about their combination blade that comes with the saw. I found this really interesting. The tooth design is designed almost exactly like a chainsaw chain, with a raker in front of the tooth, which stops the actual cutting tooth from taking too big of a bite. Now, I assume that's for cutting steel, so you aren't trying to take a giant bite out of steel, but really interesting regardless. Alright, next up is run out on the arbor. I could have set up my dial indicators and figured out how many thousandths of run out there was, but instead I just noticed a wobbly arbor screw and washer with my naked eye. A little concerning. But on looking at the video footage, the flange that seats on the arbor seems to be running somewhat true. I'm not sure who to blame on this one, the hex screw manufacturer with loose tolerances, or is there a more serious run out problem? Either way, I didn't like seeing that, and there did seem to be some vibration in this saw. Alright, the main event, cut quality. This is a brand new blade, and I haven't cut any metal with it yet. And I'd give it a C-. It's fine for rough cutting 2x4s, but way too much tear out for any kind of furniture work. Now let's test out the feature that makes this saw so special, the ability to cut steel with the same blade. Everything in my bones told me I shouldn't be doing this, but for the sake of YouTube, I did it anyway. The cut definitely felt rough as I was making it, but I was actually pretty surprised how clean the end result was. Would I use this machine to cut metal in a production shop? No, but for the guy who occasionally needs to cut a few pieces of metal, I'd say this is a pretty handy machine to have in your garage. Since I cut mostly wood, I wanted to put a new blade on the saw, and I just happened to have a new 10-inch combination blade in my cabinet. Changing the blade only took about 2 minutes, but I was really frustrated about how snug the clearance to get the blades in and out was. I actually had to flex the blades just to swap them. And contrary to a lot of reviews on the internet, this saw's inner flange is reversible to accept a standard 5/8 inch bore saw blade on saws shipped to North America. So that's nice. And I tested the cut quality again. This time it was much more acceptable with only a little bit of tear out. Even in some 1/2 inch birch ply, which is notorious for tear out. Alright, so my takeaways on this saw. I think it would be good on a job site, especially if you're cutting things with nails in them. Maybe you're reclaiming wood or using reclaimed wood. As a day-to-day operations, I wouldn't cut metal with this all day long. The blade that comes with it, it's kind of a cool novelty, but it's kind of... it's not, in my opinion, a pro tool. It is nice. A lot of people were complaining online. I saw that this saw only accepted a 1-inch bore arbor blade to only fit their proprietary blades, but that's not true. And the North American shipped saws, it comes with a reversible flange to fit 5/8 inch bore saw blade, so that was nice. Something I really liked was all of the adjustability on the saw to dial it in to get perfect 90s and perfect 45s. Some things I didn't like. The run out on the arbor is a little worrisome. The slow startup, I know it's probably to do with this saw being able to cut steel as well, but it's really annoying. To me, a chop saw, a miter saw, is a production tool that I go to because I want to cut things quick instead of setting up a table saw sled or something like that for precision. With that in mind, that's a nuisance. I don't use a chop saw, miter saw that often in my shop. Maybe I will more now that I have one. But, you know, for $200 on Amazon, it's a pretty cool saw, and I've used lots of miter saws throughout my career and growing up, working for my dad in construction. And I would put this next to a lot of them. I think it's a fine tool for the job, for making rough cuts and things like that. I wouldn't be making picture frames with this saw or anything, but yeah, that's it. That's my full comprehensive review of the Evolution Rage 3 saw. Now, I'm getting back to work. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe, click like, comment, all that jazz. I'll catch you on the next one. See you guys. Thank you, Evolution, for sending me this saw. I'm sorry if you hate my review, but I just have to be honest with my people. I'll see you guys soon.